everybody, Chad Westport here, and we're back with another episode of Just One Thing. That's where I go out into the community and talk with an experienced grower about just one thing they think all new growers should know about. And today, I've got a great guest with us. We've got Indoor Promised Land. I like to call him Mr. John. How you doing tonight?
How's it going, Chad? How are you?
Doing good, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. And I'm excited for tonight's topic, which, spoiler alert, it's DWC. What does
Yeah.
DWC stand for? Let's start with that.
DWC DWC is that hydro thing known as deep water culture. All right. Deep water culture sort of is a fancy way of saying that you've got a mass of water and your roots hang in the water, like they're in
Okay.
the water, right? Um, Usually that has like a component of aeration and bubbling. So in the water, getting air to the roots. Yep. Right. So you could see I've got this recirculating system right here. It all starts at my control res and it passively feeds through these 2-inch plumbing lines between each bucket. But at the end of the run, as you get all the way over here, it reduces to a 1/2-inch line on mine and sucks through a pump and brings it back and basically deposits it back in that control res to begin the process again. So while the water in this system is all being shared by every plant, all the solution, it's moving through that form and it's being aerated by, I have like 4 air stones in each one of these 13-gallon tubs. But the water line is about, the 3/4 of the way up. I got a little bit of an air break between the bottom where the roots are poking out of the net pot that it sits in and where it hits the solution. But everything else, I mean, a big mass of roots, they form in the bottom, and you're really relying on those air stones bringing in the air, the oxygen for the roots. If
Yeah.
you start,
Yeah.
you want to dip your toe into DWC, start with 1 or 2 buckets. Keep it easy. You don't have to go recirculating. You don't have to go top of the line with chillers. You don't have to invest in proprietary systems. Just, be reasonable, take it easy. You don't have to have everything at once either. I would say to a new grower, get a couple, media grows under your belt before you try this, honestly, because you kind of going to want to know to predict what the plant's going to want, and you'll want a little experience with that ahead of time. But not to detract from, what I do here in DWC. Tomorrow's problem, like real problem, was like a situation that developed yesterday, and that's
Yeah.
how fast that happens. Things don't turn around as quickly as they do in media. Things are a little less gentle, and not keeping your water fresh, just simple maintenance things. The other thing I'd say is be prepared to clean a lot of black plastic. The RDWC industry is basically sponsored by black plastic. These easy store containers or your 5-gallon buckets. Black, obviously, because you want to keep a lot of light away from the roots. But be prepared with
Okay.
your scrubbies, and you got to know how clean enough is. But if you get this stuff brand new, your first run will be perfect because it won't be dirty yet. You'll have your mind blown, and you might slip on your second run. So predict that too. Don't get sloppy. You got to scrub every nook and cranny between runs. And I would really recommend, like I said, know where you're going to get water from. Have some sort of supply line hose here. Know how you're going to get water out of it. Predict those infrastructural needs. Which is why it's helpful to talk to other people doing the DWC thing in the community, because there's not a lot of books out there saying like these little things like, oh hey, make sure try to have a floor drain. If you could have a floor drain, that would be awesome, because then like
Yeah.
overflows or drips or leaks, which hopefully we never have, but never say never. Knock on wood. You've got a lot of systems going. You need to be redundant, so predict that you'll have a problem. Okay. Don't if I have multiple air stones going to multiple buckets behind me in these 5 buckets. It's about 15 air stones, 16, 17 air stones, 2 pumps, right? But each pump is sending a supply to each bucket. So if one pump fails, and it has happened before, I still have
Okay.
an air supply to the remaining stones. And you might also think about how you distribute like your electrical load in your room. You might not want air conditioner on the same, you don't want like your AC and your pumps all connected, because if the one goes and the other goes and it's just light that starts baking, like that's crop death. You're
Yeah.
going to want some sort of redundancy. So predict that if you're running that many mechanical systems, especially in a bigger RDWC, or bubble ponic system or fall ponic system with that many pumps and hoses, something's going to go wrong probably while you're away,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
but I'm not fully automated either. You don't have to be, little baby steps. Maybe one day I'll be fully automated. Not
Yeah.
yet. I say 10 days max. Some people swear by a week. I've gone 2 weeks before. It's been okay. Larger volumes of water will permit you to do that. Things aren't going to go as gunky as fast. Um, but with the larger volumes of water, you also have more nooks and crannies, more bulkheads, more bits of plumbing, more area, more root volume that might be hiding like a little bit of leaf that just wants to rot in there. So you have to make the decision, like, are you going sterile res or are you going with microbes and beneficials, having an active res? But one way or the other, it's like 10 days. 10 days, you're going to want to dump it. So you be ready for that too. Like, that's the water usage you're going to go through. Hand to God, I'm definitely using more water than people just watering media. Probably, maybe even still more than dudes doing like, rapid watering cocoa or cocoa automated water drip, whatever. Even flood and drain the waste. I'm probably using more water. So if you're in a place where that's not attainable, it may not be for you, at least not a bigger system like this. Maybe stick around with a smaller bucket. Then you're just changing out 2.5, 3 gallons of water every once in a while. No big deal there. Right. A seed, I just started seeds in those little peat plugs. You could also start like in your Grodan in your little 1.5 by 1.5, I imagine. Anything that's going to like hang out nicely, maybe not dirt, but that'll hang out nicely in if you go into hydroton, which is typically what all of our plants in DWC are going to be nestled in, is an expanded clay pellet. You put your seed once it's started and has a little bit of roots into that, you let it develop. And the minute that those roots hit water in solution, like hit your nutrient solution, bam, it just takes off. It's crazy fast. Yeah, it's exciting. You could rock out like a 3-week veg in RDWC and have a good medium-sized plant. But again, you might want to take a look around like the YouTube space. You could check out me, Indoor Promised Land. You could check out some of my affiliates, a couple of the people out there trying DWC. You could check out, there's other people who teach it, and you kind of get a gauge on like, oh, wow, between week 5 and week 6, this is what happened for them. So, just be prepared, study up a little bit on it. But there's no need to be afraid. Look, if you have a good circuit leading to the room that you're growing in or your tent area, something that you can rely on not to shit out on like your pumps, like this is attainable. It's absolutely attainable. Said a bucket, aquarium pump's like 25, $30. Maybe go to the secondhand place, get it for half of that, $5, whatever. A little bit of tube, $5 for just one air stone, a 4-inch cylindrical air stone. Bucket lid, I think out the door we're like talking like $60.
Nice.
And if you do it and it works out for you, you're going to have an aha moment. You'll surprise yourself. I'm walking somebody through it right now who's got a couple grows behind them, but this is their first time in RDWC. And we're just transitioning from our pre-veg to our actual early veg. And he's like, holy crap, John, look at this. And he shows me pictures. I'm like, wow, yeah, see, you're kind of like, wow. So, you might not turn back, but it's definitely a different thing, and it's probably not for everybody. And maybe you'll want to know that about yourself before you go into it. But if you're hearing my words now and you sound interested, like results may vary, but results can be amazing.
Yes, definitely. And I want people to go out there and to find you and to see these results and to really kind of see it more in action. I know you got YouTube page here is Indoor Promised Land. It's
Indoor
right down
Promised
there
Land.
below. And everybody too, these are all down in the show notes, clickable links. So you got the YouTube Indoor Promised Land. You're also on Instagram, Indoor
That's right. You
Promised
can find me
Land as
there.
well.
Little shorts and stuff. Yeah. We try to keep it playful over there. You'll see the long format stuff mostly at YouTube, but yeah, it's good to see. I've met a lot of really good talented growers who have amazed me that I don't see in YouTube over there on Instagram. So it's definitely a space you want to like be around and watch that space. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate your time, and I hope everybody go and check this out. Learn more about the system. You will be your minds will explode with the explosive growth.
I'll be seeing all you guys very soon. I promise you.
Yes, more things to come. All right, everybody, until next time, party on.
Westport.